Hello everyone, I'm Tuning Dutchy. Welcome to the channel. In case if you are new here, consider subscribing to the channel. Motivates me by working on a car and of course making new content and pretty nice content for you guys, which is coming up very soon. Now, I'm gonna give you guys a little update about the Matisse because I have seen things on the car which is very good. I did not work on the car yet for 2-3 days because it was lots of rain falling down over here. So, I mean, I'm working on the streets and I don't like rain at all. So, now, because I did not work on the car for 2-3 days, I have cracked valve guides. Now, valve guides are, in simply words, they keeping the valves in place in center position and so they will not wobble around. Now, I have 4 from the 6 valve guides cracked. But with that being said, my engine actually runs very good. Now, the only thing that I don't like is the rattling sound in the engine. I think probably because the valve guides are cracked that they are wobbling around, so that makes the sound. Anyways, besides that problem, the engine is actually very stable. On high RPMs, it's actually running very smooth. The engine is working very good. Doesn't hesitate or something like that. Also on low RPMs it's actually very good. Only at approximately 50% RPMs then you can hear the ticking of the valve guides. But I mean, it is what it is. I have the cylinder head laying over there, which is gonna be an update for tomorrow, because I also did some stuff off camera of course. And yeah, I mean, it's actually looking very good. I also gave the car full send, full throttle, also for some more 100s of meters. I think also some kilometers, so that's very good. I mean, of course, it is risky because if those valves are falling into the combustion chamber, I know that I have lots of issues, but I mean, if my engine would be completely damaged, then I would definitely get a new car and not rebuilding the complete engine. Now, with that being said, I had, of course, a coolant leak, and if you didn't notice that, check back on my channel so you guys can see that, because I have 2 videos over there. One is very recent, and there I tell you guys actually what was happened with my coolant. Now, first of all, I fixed the coolant, luckily, and it held pretty good. Now, it was draining a little bit, but that's normal because, I mean, if the coolant is completely drained, you have to refill it, and there are possibly going to be air bubbles in there, so that's no problem. Just set the heater core on maximum and let everything heat up, let the engine warm up, and just refill the coolant a bit. And I mean, I see very stable results. It's staying nicely at maximum, just a little bit less. It's actually using a little bit of coolant, I think, for the rest of the air bubbles that are in the coolant system. But I mean, it's actually pretty good, pretty fine. Yeah, I mean, overall, I could say I will drive and keep going on with this, but I just consider to do this cylinder head because I do know myself. If I continue with this, I can already tell that I have, within a month, another broken engine or cylinder head. And I don't think that's something we are gonna try, because then I have to wait for a longer period of time and wait for a new car, because if my pistons are gonna be damaged, that's definitely not something I'm gonna mess with, at least not now. If I would have a garage with all the stuff in there, would not be a problem, but since I do not have that, then it's something we are not gonna do that. Now, I already have driven approximately 100, maybe 150 miles, and actually things are looking pretty good now. I mean, I see whenever actually I'm shifting and letting the clutch off, my car is a little bit hesitating. That's actually all. And on low RPMs, my car likes, well, definitely not stall. I mean, it's not stalling in any way. But likes to hesitate a little bit, and I think that's because, of course, the cracked valve guides, that it gets a little bit too much air, or there's too much exhaust going out. Now, I mean, with that being said, everything looks very good at this moment, and I'm very happy that my engine, even with 6500 RPMs, which is max limit, It's holding out very, very good. So, I mean, I really like it. It's looking very good. But I think it's, besides driving, I think the most important thing is not only driving, but also making my car for 100% working again. Now, I do know that I have to take everything off again. I mean, it's not something I like, but I do know once I have done this, I'm completely ready. So, that's of course what I want, and that's what I want to achieve. So, that's what we are going to do. Now, I didn't work for 2-3 days, so that means I hope that tomorrow there is no rain. I didn't check the weather actually, but well, at least for the last days it was raining pretty good. And since I'm working on a street, I don't think it's a good idea to work on a street while it's raining, because the last time I was working on a street when it's raining, my battery completely drained. And it drained itself so much, from 80% to zero, that even my interior light was not going on. So, I mean, that will already tell you guys a lot. Now, I mean, flushing the coolant, flushing the oil and all that is not going to be a big issue, but the timing, of course, and the timing belt and the camshaft and the crankshaft pulley and all that, I mean, that's something which holds me up the most, because that's not a funny job, because I have to do this on my own, and I have to make sure that everything is keeping aligning, and that I have to set the crankshaft pulley on 10 degrees before top dead center, and that might my way actually to get everything in position. Now, I mean, normally you do this with 2 people, but since my tensioner pulley is a little bit more stiff when we are talking about the spring itself, because my engine actually rotates clockwise when it's running. This is not gonna work actually when I want to try to pull the belt over the camshaft pulley in clockwise position, because this actually makes the tensioner pulley tension, obviously. Now, this is not gonna work at my car, because I always tension the tensioner pulley as much strength as I can. I mean, it's quite some Newton meters that it requires actually. I believe between 60 and 75 Newton meters it requires, even more than my crankshaft pulley, surprisingly. So yeah. Now, I mean, I also got the manifold warping fixed, so the coolant leak is fixed. I just hope that my current gasket is not blown or something like that, because I mean, I have driven some miles, well, definitely without coolant, and yeah, I mean, if the engine is running without cooling, I don't think that's a good idea. So I just hope that my gasket is alright. And I mean, well, hey, if it's not, then we are getting a new gasket or something like that, you know. I mean, I'm not gonna do and act too different about this. Would be better if I would buy a new one and just throwing that one away again. But I mean, this gasket does not even have 200 miles on it. So I think it would be fine. I mean, at least I, of course, did pulled some coolant in there when I needed to. At least to keep those hoses a little bit lubricated. So not everything was dried out, because lubrication of the coolant hoses is very important. Now, the other thing that I want to show you guys shortly, for the people that have not seen that actually, and yeah, sorry for the dark lighting, but that's because I'm gonna go to sleep very soon. Now, these spark plugs, what I'm gonna show you guys, are performance spark plugs. You might not see that very good, but they are actually a little bit different than you are guys used to. Now I'm gonna turn my camera around so the flashlight is turning on, so I can show you guys. So this is the spark plug, guys. Oh yeah, that's better. So there you actually can see, and this one came with the car. Now officially this is actually not meant to go in my car, but I have searched for it, and that would be totally fine to put this one in there. Now I can see on the bottom there a little bit of rust, but hey, I mean, I'm just gonna pick a steel brush and fix this one a bit, make it a little bit more clean, and yeah, well, saving in fuel economy and getting 200% more power. Now, okay, we will see if that's true. Anyways, with that being said, yeah, overall, everything is actually looking pretty good. Later on, I'm also gonna do before and after for you guys to show what I have done currently when I was here at home with the cylinder head that's laying currently on my table. That has to be going into my car because I changed a little bit on that thing as well. Cleaned up some particles, black carbon buildup, and on the valve cover as well. Now the valve cover has a complete makeover, but that's not something I'm actually gonna expose at this moment because that's something I'm gonna show you guys later. Now I'm gonna take another before and after with that because this is a huge difference. Now, I mean, especially with a cylinder head which already has driven 191,000 kilometers, so that's quite something. I believe that's something like 300,000 miles or something like that. I think, not sure. I mean, just measure it for yourself, guys. So yeah, I mean that's actually that, guys. So I hope tomorrow it's not gonna rain, so I can definitely work on a car. And well, I mean, I'm not waiting to do again the timing belt and the camshaft pulley and readjusting and all that. But hey, it belongs to the job, and I don't have too much options here. So I know at least if I did this correctly and if this is gonna work, I'm finally done with rebuilding everything. Now I just have to make sure that my timing belt is a little bit more tightened up because this time it was not the best actually. But it was also not that it could slip any teeth or something like that. So that's also very important. So yeah, that's actually the information that I have for you guys. Now again, I'm gonna give you guys another update tomorrow once I actually got it on there, and I mean we will see what's going on. Now, of course, I'm still planning to do a supercharger on the car, but if I want to do that, I have to make sure and I have to know what the injector size is, what I have currently in there. Now it's very hard to measure the cubic centimeters of the flow rate of the injectors because, I mean, I don't have a fuel pump that's actually, well, flowing 1 minute instantly. So yeah, I have to find a way to see how much cc's they are. And from that point on, I might go 20 or maybe 30 cc's above, so I can adjust that with the supercharger. Now the thing is, and this is something I can expose you guys already about the supercharger, because I already have checked things out for it. Now, currently, if I would actually go from, because I have a 4-inch crankshaft pulley, which is actually very low, but I keep with that, I could run the supercharger at, well, at maximum 3.5 inch. I cannot go smaller because with stock injectors, my car is not going to hold up. So, with that being said, I try, if I cannot find the injectors yet, I'm going to put the supercharger on there with 4-inch crank pulley and 4-inch supercharger pulley. And yes, I do know that this might not be the best solution for the low end power and for the high end as well. But I mean, if I have 4-inch and 4-inch, my supercharger is not running fully because I don't want to destroy my engine. And still, if I'm gonna do this, I still will gain 20-25 horsepower, and that's quite much. So, but I will find that out later on. I know that my car has 52 horsepower from factory, so once I got that on there, I will definitely go to a tuning shop, and I'm gonna dyno it probably and see what it makes. Now, only dynoing to see how much horsepower it makes, because my injectors currently, if it's gonna be, and this is a very, very, very big if my injectors are 170 cc's or 180 cc's, I can actually get my car up to 78 horsepower on 80% duty cycle, 90% duty cycle, it can go up a little bit above 80, I believe 84. So that means 60% of the supercharger, and that's maxed out. And if I go to 100%, then I might be able actually to run the supercharger above 60, which is more and actually a little bit better. Now, since it's not recommended to run the injectors on 100% duty cycle, it's not something I'm gonna do, right? Because I don't want to destroy my injectors or engine, and I still have to get one connector clip for my injectors. And if my injector is on 100% duty cycle and it shoots loose, at least the connector which is not connected yet on cylinder number 2, then I might run into problems again. So no way, not yet, thank you. I like to save these costs at least. Anyways guys, I hope this update was very useful to you. I think I'm going currently to sleep, and for tomorrow, guys, that's the oil, the old oil, and that's the old coolant. Now, I mean, you could not see that it's coolant, but it is. I'm gonna throw these two things actually away. Now, that's actually my oil filling somehow self-made cap actually, and I'm gonna put that in an empty canister that I have in my room somewhere, and the coolant will, I think I just throw it in here or something, I don't know. We'll see. But I need both of them. So that's actually that. I hope you guys have had a very good evening. Anyways guys, this was Tuning Dutchy. And don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to like, share this video with your friends so they know they can expect some very nice stuff on the channel. Anyways, I hope that I see you guys in the next video, because then we are probably gonna see if all problems are finally solved with a running engine. Anyways, this was Tuning Dutchy. I'm gonna sign off, and I see you guys in the next video.